Slam Sector contains levels of brain rot that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
I heard nothing. There was no sound.
You didn't get the whoop?
Nope, got nothing. Unlucky. I appreciate the effort, though. Are you gonna try again?
Boop!
I heard it that time.
Excuse me.
Ryan killed himself.
What's up, everybody?
Hello! Welcome back to Slam Sector After Dark, where today we're going to be raiding the Elves But Pointy Codex. It seems like the internet is pretty divided on this codex. Leaning pretty negative. I don't think it's that bad, if I'm being honest, but we'll see what the scores have to say.
You're making me question my meta scores now.
I don't know if the meta is like what people have issues with. I think it's mostly everything else. Yeah. But before we get into that, make sure you guys do a like, maybe sub, and if you really like us a lot, you can join. It's the best way to support the channel, so we can keep doing what we do, and so I can keep feeding Ryan chicken. Otherwise, he would starve to death.
And eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have one meal a week, and it's just a bunch of chicken nuggets.
Yep. 32 chicken nuggets from Chick-fil-A.
That's why I'm coughing and dying right now.
And make sure you guys join us on Monday, where we're going to be playing the Space Marine Operations mode. Somebody is. We're not sure who yet, but somebody's going to be. And it'll be a good time. But without any further ado, let's talk about Pointy Elves. So, we'll talk about the army rule first. The army rule is still power from pain. You're still generating tokens from enemy units dying and failing battle shock tests, but now you're also generating them in your command phase. You don't start with any just automatically anymore like you used to. That became a detachment rule that got expanded out a little bit, but we'll get into that. And now, instead of having the... What was it? You had the reroll hits and the AP buff, and then also you could reroll advance and charges? Something like that?
Yeah. You could do it in the move, shoot, or fight phase.
Yeah.
And it would buff. It was like one buff that was the same that you could give to all your units, and you could just do it in the move, shoot, or fight phase. It would do different things. Did you just lose my mic?
No.
Okay, that's weird. Yeah. So sorry, some audio glitch there. Just reset my brain. Yeah. So like it was like the common rule is like reroll advance to charge, reroll or +1, or I can't remember what it was. But anyway, now it is activating a pain ability for each unit. It's essentially a second command currency.
It's like a second set of stratagems that are just like baked into data sheets.
Yeah. And then every unit basically has their own stratagem, their own bespoke artisanal stratagem.
I mean, if I'm honest, it's very 9th edition coded.
Yeah. I did drop... I made all my accessibility scores out of 8 just because of the army
Just
rule.
automatically took 2 points off?
Automatically. Because, like, a new player keeping track of stratagems, it's already, like, a thing that sometimes they struggle with.
Yeah.
You tack on the whole economy of pain on top of that.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, what's going on? And then, like, we'll get to it later, but just, like, the Raiders data sheet is fucking crazy. It's just a wall of text.
Well, speaking of data sheets, let's talk about some data sheet changes. I think the most notable changes here are the ones that are missing. The grotesques are gone. Court of the Archon, gone. Beastmaster, gone. Urian Rakarth, gone. I have to believe in my heart of hearts that these data sheets are coming back later in the edition. I have to believe that.
I don't know if they're coming back later this edition.
Or next edition.
The rumors I've heard is that Dark Eldar are supposed to get some sort of refresh next edition. I predict that the big focus of that refresh is going to be the Covens. And we're going to get new racks, new grotesques, maybe new paint engines. Maybe the paint engines will just upgrade like some of the vehicles have in the past. But I mean, grotesques have been gone from the store for a while now. Like a good while.
I mean, your only two Covens units left are the homunculus and the racks, right? Oh, and the paint engines.
The paint engines. I noticed today that you can't buy racks from GW anymore either.
Huh?
They're gone.
They're not on the website?
All you can buy, they're not on the website.
That's crazy.
All you can buy at the moment is the paint engines and the homunculus on their web store. Although, like, we do know that in some of the leaks they showed like some of the boxes, and one of the boxes has racks in it. So I think it's like their combat patrol has racks. It's like racks, 2 paint engines, and a homunculus. That to me supports the idea that next edition the Coven stuff's getting an upgrade, because like they've taken them off the store, so they're trying to clear out stock.
Yeah,
and that's why they're not in the store right now, because they need enough stock to make the combat patrol boxes, and then they're going to try to ship all that stuff out and sell it all before next edition.
The same reason they put a box shred in the Grey Knights box.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, as much as I want to buy a bunch of racks and make like a Coven force, I think I'm going to resist that urge.
Yeah.
Until next edition, because I feel it. I feel it coming. Because like I think grotesques are going to come back. You know,
I feel like
gone.
they have to. They're like a very iconic unit.
Yeah, I mean, grotesques were one of the original Dark Eldar units. Now, granted, back in 3rd edition when they came out, what was a grotesque was essentially a rack. Now they were like small guys, and they've bulked up. But
they hit the gym.
Yeah,
weird up.
They're just a cool unit. You know, I would if I'm getting to wild predictions, I'm gonna predict that there'll be like different kinds of grotesques in the future.
Like shooting grotesques and melee grotesques.
Like shoddy grotesques, yeah. But anyway, we're getting off topic.
Yeah. So those are the ones that are gone. There are a couple of broad changes. For the most part, leadership kind of went down across the board, which who gives a shit, doesn't really matter. And some
be big one day.
Some abilities that were just like on data sheets, it's not gonna be, are now locked behind spending a pain token to use them, which is a little interesting. I think a lot of people are overly worried about the pain token economy. I think it's going to be better than people think it is. You're still generating them relatively quickly, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. And there's ways to generate more in the various detachments and stuff. New data sheet. We got Lady Malice.
Lady Malice, yeah.
She seems pretty solid. She's got great melee. Her main melee weapon has Hazardous, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna convert a model for her. Like, I don't usually use named characters, but she, like, I like the idea of like my homunculus is like a Farseer, right? Who's like corrupted. The model I have, I converted that. She fits the bill for that perfectly. Like, she's got like prescience, which is kind of like psychic power. Even though that's like a naughty thing for a Dark Eldar to have. And she's got essentially like a demon blade, force weapon sort of thing. So
yeah,
she's a very cool sheet. She's also Shadowheart. Let's be honest. The hairdo and everything.
Yeah.
Tons of people online have been comparing her to Shadowheart.
Yeah. She's pretty close.
This is funny.
But she has a 3-unit redeploy, which is very good. She stole Vect from Archons. Archons don't have Vect anymore. Instead, she just has it. And her pain ability is she gives the unit sustained hits or lethal. It's a Dark Pact, basically. So,
yeah,
she seems pretty good. Keep in mind too that we don't have any points for any of this stuff, so this is all kind of dependent on how the points shake out. So I think I think in the book she's like 115, and I think that's probably a little expensive. But if she goes down to like 100, I think she's probably pretty good.
Yeah, it's hard to say on some of this stuff without seeing the points cost.
Yeah. And going into some additional changes, I don't want to get into all of them because basically every datasheet in the book changed, but a couple that stood out to me, racks. They're pretty much largely buffed across the board. They're a little bit more durable. They've got a better save. They have an extra wound. They lost the feel no pain, but I think that the other changes make up for that to some extent.
The homunculi getting back the regeneration, kind of.
The D3+1, yeah.
Yeah.
Fleshcraft
takes care of that. Like, they had that in 9th edition, and then they, like, took it off of them, gave it to Urian.
Yeah.
Or Urine, however you say his name. It does... It's like, if you don't have a homunculus in the unit, having an extra wound is good, but the feel no pain is really kind of what gave them their lasting power.
If you could roll 5s.
If you could roll
I
5s.
could not.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they play on the tabletop.
Their melee is pretty strong now too, because they have the twin linked weapons, which is really good. But also their pain ability is you can spend the pain token to basically bump up their melee 1 attack, or you can instead bump it up 2 attacks, but it becomes hazardous. I love that. I think I think you're basically going to bump it up to 4 every time, unless like whatever you're fighting is already pretty low.
Well, there's a few things that it can combo with that, which I don't know if I want to dive into just yet until we get to the detachments. But if it was me, I would probably only bump it up to hazardous when I was popping like certain stratagems, when like combos went off.
I'm bumping it up every time.
We'll talk about that later.
I'm no coward.
Yeah.
So Rax,
they still have their feel no pain. I'd pop it every time, but
Rax largely buffed, melee spicy, looking good. Scourges got split into 2 data sheets now. So you have the what are they? The shard carbines, which are like your normies, and then your heavy weapon squad.
Honestly, we just got a new Scourge unit. Their data sheet didn't really get split because I don't think anybody was running Scourges in anything other than like 5-man heavy weapon squads.
That's fair. They are I think limited to just 5-man squads now, right? I don't think you can take the 10-man squads.
I know anymore. The heavy weapon one is the shard carbine one limited?
I think it might be. But I think they almost kind of like work well in tandem with each other because the shard carbines give you the like AP bonus, so having that stacked on top of the heavy weapons is going to be pretty good. So, like, I think it's nice.
I definitely, depending on the points cost, obviously, I could see the 5-man shard carbine squad because of their pain ability, where they can deep strike within 6 or just outside of 6. They could be kind of like a sort of sacrificial harassment unit, and like you drop them in, you get the crossfire, and really hurt like a unit, and then it's like you've got this like little tiny unit in the backfield of the enemy that could slide into a lot of pockets. They have to make the choice of whether to waste time dealing with them or, let them flap around and fuck around. Also, their deep strike paired with some of like the movement stratagems that are out there, because they don't have the reposition natively, right? Yeah, no. But you can use some movement stratagems on them, I think, to reposition them to get them.
The heavy weapon ones have the reposition.
Yeah, but there's a stratagem in one of the detachments that lets you do essentially that.
Yeah.
With any unit, so you could drop them in close, get the crossfire, and then be like, woohoo!
Bye.
You have to make that noise when you do it, also.
Hell yeah! All right.
I do miss
any
when
data sheets that stood out to you.
Um, I am really excited about witches.
Okay.
I always kind of liked witches in 10th edition. They got real just boring and lackluster.
Yeah.
But now with Advance in Charge, and they've got their gladiator weapons back, which they're not like amazing, but it's just something. And in the witch detachment, we got our drugs back, baby. Which I've always loved rolling for combat drugs.
Always roll, right? Never pick.
Oh yeah, you never pick.
Picking
If you were given the option of taking some drugs or a lot of drugs, like reaching into a bucket and like just taking a handful, or like picking one pill, you go in that bucket. You scoop yourself up, some trail mix, and you go buck wild.
Some drug trail mix. Hell yeah.
Maybe that's the Emperor Children of me speaking. But yeah, they seem really cool.
I'm okay.
Have you caught my disease over the internet?
Yes.
I obviously like. Oh, we finally got the Hand of the Archon. They finally got their rules.
Is that a new data sheet? They didn't have. Were they just Kabalites
They didn't have
before,
it
I guess?
because you remember like everybody was getting their like kill teams in 40k and like getting like little special rules with these like little fiddly units.
Yeah.
And then the Hand of the Archon dropped, and they dropped the rules for the Arbites, I think, because that's who they were paired with. And then they're like, the Hand of the Archon's not getting any special rules. You can just run them as like, weirdo Kabalites.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck, man? So now they have it, and they're kind of like a scout unit. They can really do some shenanigans with like getting on an objective early and like locking it down, because they get bonuses. They get increased objective control and invulnerable save when they get on their like targeted objective.
Yeah, they seem cool. They seem like they might be a good unit for Malice to lead.
Yeah. There's a few combos you could do with them. I feel like also like with Phantasm grenade launchers having smoke now. You can like pop smoke.
Yeah, they just
on
like
them.
give the unit the smoke keyword.
Yeah, like Kabalites aren't at all the stickiest unit, but for Kabalites, the Hand of the Archon could be pretty sticky.
Yeah.
And they have the Stim Needler to reduce one attack's damage to 0. It's pretty cool. I also like that they give an Archon attached to them, scouts, so you could put the Archon in there and still do the scouts move.
Yeah.
Which you could put them in a Raider also, right? And the Raider gets scouts. Is how that works with transports.
Yeah.
So you could up their survivability a little more with that. So yeah, I'm excited about that. That's a nice addition. Something that we should have had a while ago. Talos got like a bit of a buff on some of their weapons. I think like the Talos Gauntlet went from strength 8 to strength 9. You can like give macro scalpels twin linked if you double them up. And it has a fight on death, which I like, because they're big mean units and they're relatively fast and they can get into the enemy, but like having them have the fight on death allows them to like sort of you could put them out in the front line, let them take a charge, and
not be
as worried.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Oh yeah. Well, you want to get into some detachments here?
Yeah, let's dive in.
All right.
Oh, Incubi being able to do devastating wounds is pretty spicy with some combos also. I like that.
Hard agree.
But let's get into detachments.
Let's get into some detachments. Let's talk about Realspace Raiders first. So this is basically your index generalist detachment. You start with 2 bonus pain tokens, or I guess they're not bonus anymore. These are the only ones that you're going to start with. For each pairing that you have of the following: the Archon and the Kabalites, Succubus and Witches, and Homunculus and Rax. So as long as you're taking those different units, it really wants you to play in the whole sandbox. You can get up to 6 pain tokens to start. I think that it's strong-ish. It's going to be good for early pressure, but I don't think it's entirely necessary. Because you're still going to be, like, by turn 2, when you're actually going to be doing shit, you probably will already have 6 pain tokens, and you're probably not going to need to spend that many. So, I think it's a little bit of a weird detachment rule, in my opinion.
How would you have 6 by turn 2?
I mean, hopefully you're killing shit. Because you're gonna get one in each command phase, so that's like two off the bat. Hopefully you're killing shit.
Well, three by the time you're in turn 2, because you'll have your 1 from starting in turn 2.
Huh?
It's each command phase, right?
Is it each?
So
command
your turn
phase?
there. Assuming you're going first, is it just your command phase? Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, your command. So you'll have 2. Sorry. Brain's still catching up.
Yeah. So like by turn 2, it's not like unreasonable to think that you could get to 6. But like even still at that point, I don't think you're going to be spending all of those. Like the vast majority of your token spending is probably going to come on turn 3, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean it's nice to have like a bank, so you can like blow out when you need to.
It's like backup, basically.
Yeah, and you can, depending on how you build your list, it will scale. But
yeah,
I'm trying to remember if their stratagems have any of the ones you can pump up with pain tokens. I don't think.
One of the stratagems that I had that I liked in this detachment was the raid and fade. Instead of fire and fade, we got raid and fade. It costs 2 command points, which is a little bit hefty, but it basically just like lets a unit do a move at the end of the shooting phase, and you can use that move to get back into a transport. So
yeah, that's pretty good.
Jump out.
That's what I was thinking
of
some earlier,
shit, and then just run back into your truck.
I see now that you can't use it on Scourges, actually, so that's unfortunate, but...
Yeah. Oh, is that the one you were thinking of?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Mm. But yeah, like, if you have the heavy weapon Scourges, and you have, 2 units of Kabalites, you can pop this stratagem, move back the 2 units of Kabalites and the Scourges, so you could do a lot of, popping out.
Yeah. It's very tricksy.
You could, very, very tricksy. Insensible to pain is also really good. Having like the pain ability is just always on. With as many pain tokens as you're getting, I don't know if the utility is that needed in this attachment, but it lets you put your pain tokens on a bunch of other units that you might not normally do them on.
Well, it's like another reason that I like Dark Vitality, which is one of the enhancements. Because, like, whatever unit that character is in is just always considered to be empowered, so you don't have to use the pain tokens on that unit at all.
Wait, what did I say? That's what I was talking about.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
I still have frogs in my brain, man.
But yeah, so being able to just have that on a unit, and also you're getting all of these bonus pain tokens, like... I think at some point you're kind of leaning too hard into not having to spend or like banking your pain tokens, I guess. I have a feeling that a lot of people, when you get to like the end of the game playing this attachment, you're gonna have just bonus pain tokens left over because you couldn't spend them all fast enough.
So. Yeah, it's hard to say like what the pain economy is gonna be like.
Yeah.
Not like having not played it yet, but I definitely, I think this attachment has some cool combos in it.
There's some stuff there.
Let me look at my notes, since I can't seem to think.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and kick off our slam score here. If you're unfamiliar with the slam scale, we're grading 4 categories out of 10. Sex appeal, which is basically just our first glance, how cool does this detachment look? Does it look flashy? Does it look like something we would want to play? Does it look like something we would want to play against? Lore is how well does it adhere to the lore of the faction or add to it or something like that. How fluffy is it, basically? Approachability is going to be how easy it is for a new player, either new to this just detachment, new to this army, a new player to the game. How easy is it going to be for them to play this detachment, either from a hobby perspective or a rules perspective? And then meta is how good we think it's going to be competitively, keeping in mind that we're not competitive players. We do our best, but we're not competitive. We're very casual. But so this is our kind of just best guess at how we think it's going to do in the meta. So, kicking it off with the sex appeal score, I gave this one a 3. I don't think it's that sexy, you know? I think it's very basic and boring. I don't like the detachment rule that much. It's kind of... It happens one time and then you forget about it. Because there's no more parts to it. All of the stratagems and stuff kind of just seem like very basic buffs that don't really have any kind of, you know, like pizzazz to them. It's very boring. It's a boring detachment.
So I will say that my sex appeal scores are probably influenced by the fact that like Dark Eldar was like one of the first armies I played.
You're
first
biased.
codex I ever bought.
Yeah.
I'm biased. So I give this an 8.
Holy shit.
I thought it was a lot of fun. You know, it's like it's quintessential Dark Eldar, you know. It's like all the different factions coming together. Yeah, once V1er says it won't be sexy because it's index. Yeah, I mean it is the index. It's reimagined. It's better than the index was. I don't know. It's got some cool combos. Like looking at my notes now, like Dark Vitality plus Eager for the Kill, the stratagem that gives I think witches like an automatic advance of 6. You'll like be able to advance and charge with like a succubus and 10 witches like every turn. You can get a lot of coverage on the board with that. I don't know. It's got some cool stuff. But I like Dark Eldar, so that's why I give it an 8.
There's nothing there. Lore, again, I gotta rate this one pretty low. The flavor text, so I was reading this, and I was like, this seems interesting. I don't remember in the lore that I have read, like, the, like, covens and the witches and stuff, like, all being, like, a unified front, I guess, very often. And the, like, flavor text is talking about how, oh yeah, they're fighting together, but they're all, like, really competing, seeing, like, who's the best at, and who can, like, cause the most pain, take the most trophies, all this stuff. And the detachment rules don't display that at all. Like, none of that has anything to do with how the rules function. So, I think it's a, like, pretty big lore miss, in my opinion.
I mean, lore-wise, to me, this is classic Dark Eldar. This is how they were presented. This is how they raid Realspace. You know, they group together, and they go out and they do stuff. So I gave it a 10.
A 10? Holy shit!
This is how it's described happening in, like, you know, a lot of, like, all the codexes talk about how they group up, team up, and they head out. Like the cabals, every cabal has like contracts with a homunculus.
But it's always like a business transaction or like like a very uneasy alliance, right? And I don't think that anything in the detachment like makes that clear. It's all very just generic, gamey Warhammer 40,000 buffs. Nothing about it is very like sticks out as, oh yeah, that's a cool little like nod to something in the lore.
So you like you'd want to see something I don't know if you're familiar with these rules. I don't think you've played a game that had them.
So I think like
But,
the
like,
Reaper's
sort of
Wager
animosity
detachment.
rules.
Sure, yeah, something like that. But like the Reaper's Wager detachment does what this detachment is describing in the flavor text. But we already
Yeah,
rated
like the
that
competition part. The competition part. Yeah, it doesn't really show that. I've read in different places in the lore a lot of times about them teaming up and going out to just get souls. You know,
Yeah.
like a Cabal, like an Archon or somebody finds out about a place that's like good for plunder, and they like make an agreement, like, hey, we're going to do this joint venture. Let's fucking go, and they all ride out and they do it.
That's exactly. They just like that's how they do it exactly. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, basically, they're like, are you hungry? Are you turning into a raisin? You want to be a grape again? Let's go get some souls. Because that you know they wither when they don't consume souls. That's the whole grape raisin thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a solid 10.
Okay. Look, we think about it differently. Approachability. I give this one a solid 8. Are you good? Is somebody breaking into your house right now?
My 3D print stopped and it's like cracking, like the static.
Oh.
Electricity's crackling.
I give it a solid 8 on approachability. It is like your generalist attachment, so basically anything that you have in your collection will work. I did have to take 2 points off because it's Drukhari and because the army rule is not very beginner friendly. Drukhari are not an easy army to hobby with, and they're, with this new army rule, not very easy to play. So loses a couple points there, but otherwise I think this is very solid.
Yeah, I would agree about the army rule. I started everything at 8 for approachability. I gave this one a 7.
Okay.
I did that because like it is like anything in the collection will work in this army. But it's also like you've got a bunch of different. Well, okay, I say a bunch of different data sheets. They don't really have that many data sheets.
Yeah, I was gonna.
You've got like you've got very different units that like play very differently. You know, like witches are like when I run in real fast. Assault, racks are not as fast because they can't use like some of the movement buffs. And are like kind of tough. And then the Kabalites want to be very sort of like flighty, shooting and like harassing. It's like not a unified strategy across the board. So it might take coordinating that soup can be tricky sometimes. So that's why I gave it a 7.
Yeah, that's fair. That makes sense to me. Meta, I give this one a 5. I think it's mid at best. I think it relies a lot on datasheet strength, and if I'm honest, a lot of the datasheets in the book aren't very strong, especially in like the current meta. You're gonna struggle a lot going into vehicle heavy armies and knights, which are like currently dominating the meta. And this doesn't really help you with that. It kind of just like lets you access some of your datasheet pain abilities a little bit earlier, but besides that, doesn't really do much to help you out in any way. So 5.
Yeah, I gave it a 6 for some of the same reasons. It's also like I don't know, like it's like I said, it's a soupy list. And strategically, those, in my experience, if you're not like focusing on like one thing,
leaning into one specific play style,
if you're not going hard on like a certain strategy, you're not really going hard anywhere, and you're just kind of like you've got a lot of adaptability, but you don't have a lot of like push, and like they have multiple stratagems that are like only affect certain units. So like if you like run your witches up, and somebody hits him with a bunch of anti-infantry or something, like, I don't know, Votan grenade launchers. Those aren't anti-infantry, but like they're blast,
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're off the board. Like you have no cult units on the board anymore. Then like at least one of your stratagems is just gone. I mean, I guess you can still use it, but it's not as effective. You lose your effectiveness.
Yeah.
So I gave it a 6.
Okay. 6.4. You carried it to that 6.4 because my average ended up being 5.0.
Look, man, the lore backs this up, and
Okay.
it's damn sexy. What's sexier than like spiky goth elves? Honestly.
Witches, the witch cult detachment. Anyway,
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that.
moving on. That would have been a good segue, but instead we're going to talk about the Covenite Coterie here.
Oh, the Fleshcraft Coterie? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, Covenite Coterie.
Yeah. The one that they stole from you because they're in our walls. Your
Yeah,
detachment
yeah.
rule here, the Stitch Flesh Abominations. It's pretty basic. It's going to be -1 to wound. Your homunculus units, if the strength is greater than the toughness. So this really only applies to your Talos, Kronos, and Rax, basically.
Yeah.
Which is a little
Sounds
bit of a
really
shame.
familiar, too.
It sounds like this would be great with grotesques, perhaps.
Grotesques, yeah.
Yeah, grotesques
Or
would
like
love
if it had an
this.
additional rule that allowed it to affect your other units too. That'd be pretty cool, right?
If only
That'd be a
somebody
pretty
came up with
cool
that.
thing for it to do, right?
But this attachment does have some pretty cool stratagems and enhancements. I think my favorite stratagem is the Poisoner's Art. Once you
yeah.
it lets a Coven's unit poison an enemy unit in melee. And you roll in each player's command phase, and on a 4-up, that unit takes D3 mortal wounds. Very funny. If you can pop that off, like turn 1, turn 2, that's gonna piss your opponent off a lot.
I think you could rename that stratagem to the Seed of Salt, because there's gonna be some games where that makes people really salty. Especially like if you take a fuck ton of racks and like you run like just a small unit up and like poke somebody and then pop that on them like real early, and then their like big tough unit just gets eaten away.
Yep.
People are gonna get mad about that one, I think.
Yeah.
But
it's like not the best. You're dealing like maximum if you get it popped off every turn. That's what 30 wounds over the course of the game to one unit, but you're not gonna do that, so it is what it is. That's basic. It's enough to kill a Stompa.
I mean, like
random.
the thing I could see it could hurt like an infantry unit pretty bad. Like it could just eat away an infantry unit. Like maybe not kill it before you kill it, but like whittle it down really quickly to where it's like not effective for holding an objective.
Yeah,
like if you hit their like
focus
front
your
line,
attention elsewhere.
Yeah, like I would definitely, if I had the opportunity, hit somebody with that, and then just ignore the unit and let it just decay.
Yeah,
because it'd be funny.
I like the Master Regenicist enhancement. It basically just bumps up your Fleshcraft ability from resing D3+1 up to D3+3.
Yeah, that one's really good.
This is gonna make Rax fucking pain in the ass to take out, especially now that they're tougher. So I'm a big fan of that one. Anything stand out to you?
Those were like the two big things. Let me look at my
like
notes. What do I have pinged here? So I know Battle Shock's not great. Doesn't go off often. But Distillers of Fear, Rax can like make people take Battle Shock tests if they shoot them and if they fight them. So if you pile enough attacks on a unit, it's possible they could get shook. And then if you get into melee with Rax and you pop Distillers of Fear and you pop their pain ability and you do the hazardous thing where they have 4 attacks each, all their attacks have anti-infantry. So you've got anti-infantry dev wounds pouring out. You could if you get a high priority infantry target like blade, sword brethren, something just big and beefy, you get it shook, and you run in some racks, you could really melt infantry units.
You do, even if like the racks don't pop off the battle shock tests. Like you have there's like a stratagem to force a battle shock test also. So it costs more.
You have to destroy. I think you have to destroy a unit for that strategy.
Yeah, you do. But like there's data sheet. I mean, there's like other options besides just the Rax data sheet.
I think, or am I thinking of the homunculus? I think I might be thinking of the homunculus.
Distillers of Fear. The problem that I think you're gonna run into there is that it's 2 CP for something that relies on a battle shock, which is rough. It's rough. So I guess we can go ahead and get into the scores here. For sex appeal, I gave this one a 7. I like the covens. They're my second favorite part of Drukhari. And I think that this is a lot better than the Realspace Raiders. I think having the kind of singular focus on just the covens helps that out a lot. But this is much more interesting to me. What about you, Ryan?
I gave it an 11 because it's my detachment.
Whoa!
I gave it a 9. Or no, I gave it an 8. I gave it an 8. I like it a lot. It's a little simple.
It is a little
simple. I would have given it a higher score if its detachment rule did something for the other units. But I love racks.
Yeah. Racks on racks.
I like the idea of a Coven army going across the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
It is sad that like we've only got 4 data sheets for Covens.
Mm-hmm.
Which I will say the the paint engine got better. We didn't mention the paint engine earlier. Paint engine got like a regenerate for its unit. Say what?
We talked about
the Kronos.
Oh.
The Soul Sucker.
Thought we talked about
I don't think we talked about that. Did we talk about that?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Talk about it again.
So basically it can farm pain tokens for you if stuff dies.
Yeah.
Or if you empower stuff near you, you can get your pain tokens back. And it can regenerate models in its unit. I don't know how many models go into its unit right now with this. Oh, 1 to 2. Okay. So not that many. Sorry. One day I'll stop coughing, but it's not today. So yeah, like
versus coughing, Ryan.
Yeah. If you focus on this army, it's not gonna be. It's just gonna be like 4 types of units right now, which is. I mean, I guess you'll probably throw some boats in there to have like dark lances, but
you gotta have boats and hose.
Gotta have boats and hose. I wonder how a pure Coven army would do. I wonder if you could even.
Gotta try
we won't know.
Is that even enough points? Yeah.
Yeah, we won't know without the points because you'd only be able to get 3 units of Talos, 3 units of Kronos, and then 6 racks, and then 3 homunculi.
Yeah. Well, moving on to lore, I gave this one an 8. I think this is pretty good. I do wish that the detachment rule was like just a little bit more. It is kind of just a little bit of a durability bonus. But I think that like the enhancements and the stratagems are all very flavorful, and they like fit the vibe of the Covens really well. What do you think?
I gave it a 10. I'm realizing now I gave almost all these 10. In lore.
Should I just
they all seem flavorful to me. They all feel flavorful to me.
That's fair.
Let me look at the parameters.
This is like a very flavorful book. I think most of mine, besides Realspace Raiders, have like pretty good flavor scores.
It blows my mind that to you, Realspace Raiders is not fluffy. That's like
the rules just don't like.
So like
have
the
any-
lore
they
score,
don't
is
do
it supposed to
anything.
be the rules represent the? Let me look
I don't know. However you want. That's how I rate it. I don't think the rules feel very fluffy to me.
All right, drop my Realspace raid down to 8 because they're not competing. You know,
They
I'll
don't
give you
match,
that.
the rules
If
don't match the flavor text.
in a Realspace raid, which is a thing that happens in the lore,
I know.
they would be kind of competing with each other.
Yeah.
So
I know.
I'll give you that. The
Okay.
rules don't represent it. I think the rules for this one, I mean, they're just tough fucking zombie. It's like
Definitely much better. Definitely much better.
space elf soul vampire necromancers.
It's literally just the detachment rule being so generic is like where it loses some points for me. But otherwise,
That's
I'm
why
super into it.
sexy score is not high for me because it's just kind of boring.
Approachability. This is a fucking 2. If you're a new player, do not approach this detachment. For one, the range is incredibly limited and very old. Absolutely do not recommend this for beginners. I guess like the only reason it's not a 1 is because the rules aren't super difficult, but the Coven's range is rough. So, yeah, new players avoid.
Yeah. I gave it a 7.
Oh my god.
I gave it a 7 because, well, actually, you know what? I gave it a 7 before I saw that racks aren't in the store right now. So drop that down to a 6. In terms of like playing it, they're like the toughest units in the Dark Eldar army. So like you're gonna get forgiven for mistakes more than you would with other forces.
Mm-hmm.
Because Dark Eldar can be very like glass cannon, and if you fuck something up, you make a bad move, you're like toasted. Rax, Talos, and all that, they can like weather some fuck around. So that's the reason mine's so high. The range being what it is like unless you just like absolutely fucking in love with the Covens, it's not going to be like that exciting of an army to build, I don't think. Because like the Dark Eldar have other like really cool models.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're going to want to dump a bunch of those in there, and they're not going to get buffed by your detachment.
Yeah. One Speed Wonder makes a great point. I forgot that the new combat patrol is basically just all Covens. It's because it's just pain engines and racks. You know what?
It is.
I'll bump mine up to a 4 for that.
Hopefully, they release a box of racks. It's not just the combat patrol, because like I don't think the sort of the distribution of the combat patrol would let you just like build a Coven army if you just bought a bunch of them. You wouldn't have enough racks once you maxed out your Talos. You know,
you can take 3 Talos, 3 Kronos.
I mean, how many racks?
You could buy this box 3 times. 10. You could buy this box 3 times and have a decently sized Coven's army, I guess.
Is it 1 homunculus, 2 pain engines, 10 racks?
Yep.
You need 30 more racks on top of that.
You don't need that, but you can.
Why not? I honestly, I know
if you're gonna run pure Covens, then maybe.
I know I said I'm not going to buy any more racks, but I might buy that combat patrol.
That's more racks.
If it's a decent price.
I mean, it'll be combat patrol.
More pain
price.
engines.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is a combat patrol these days? Was it like 120?
I don't. One more than that, I think. I think they're like 160, something like that. I don't know. Too expensive. Meta. That's what we're doing. Meta.
Meta.
I give this one a 7. It makes good stuff gooder. I think, like you were saying, everything in here is very tough. Well, not very tough, but like for elves, it's pretty tough.
For elves.
For elves, it's pretty tough. It's going to be kind of hard to remove these things from the battlefield. And the paint engines look good, Rax look good, Homunculus looks good, especially with the Fleshcraft. So I think it looks to be at least a contender in the current meta.
I noticed Elliot said need after he heard about the Combat Patrol. Was Elliot thinking of traveling to scenic Camera? Join me, Elliot. I give this a 7 also.
Okay, hell yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
We can agree on something.
And we never will again.
Nope. Nice. 7.1. That's pretty good.
We might agree on the witch detachment.
I hope we agree on the next one, because I like the next one a lot. Let's talk about the Kabalite Cartel. This Cabals, this is my favorite part of the Drukhari. I fucking love these guys. So the detachment ability, which I also love, the murderous agenda, you're gonna select from a list of contracts for your Cabal and Blades for Hire units that to fulfill. That's going to include not just your Kabalites and stuff, but also Incubi, Scourges, and Mandrakes. Those are all Blades for Hire. And you're going to pick an enemy unit to be the target of that contract. And until your contract is completed, you're going to get whatever the listed ability is for that contract. And then when you complete it, you'll get 3 pain tokens. Oh, he plays dwarves. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I'll get my beard shavers out.
I forgot what I was saying. I fully lost track of what I was saying.
Now you have frogs in your brain.
The contract. So Trophy Hunters, the target of that one is a character unit. You will gain precision against that unit for your affected units, Cabal and Blades for Hire. And then Sow Fear and Terror. You target an infantry or mounted unit for that, and you get sustained hits against infantry and mounted units across your entire enemy's army. And then Show of Strength is going to target a monster vehicle, and that will give your affected units lethal hits versus monsters and vehicles, which is pretty good. Don't hate that, especially in the current meta. So I am a big fan of this detachment rule. The stratagem that I like a lot, Double Cross, very funny stratagem. It basically lets you pass off wounds from a Cabal or Blades for Hire unit onto another non-vehicle Drukhari unit. So instead of making a save, you're just like, that guy takes that many mortal wounds.
Just grabs him, holds him.
He makes him get down, Mr. President.
Yeah.
That's very funny to me. Very flavorful. I like that a lot. Enhancement, Informant Network, giving 3 units of Kabalites or Hand of Archon infiltrate. Very good. That's going to be tight. And especially with the redeploy from Lady Malice.
Yeah, and also with scouts on the Hand of Archon.
Yeah.
You can get up the board like...
Not really. You still have to stay 9 inches away from your opponent's shit.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Well, you can just be dancing around.
I think you're almost always going to use that on Kabalites and probably never going to use it on Hand of the Archon. Or at least not very often.
Yeah, maybe. But if they leave a pocket, you never know.
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe.
So yeah, I like those a lot. I like this attachment a lot. So I guess I can just like carry all that hype straight into my sex appeal score. This is my only 10. Spoilers. If I played Drukhari, this is probably the only detachment I would ever play.
Well, I too like the Kabalites quite a bit. I love the whole like space elf gang sort of mentality they have.
Yep.
And like this in particular feels like it feels like you're taking a hit out on somebody.
Yeah.
Like somebody hired you
so
to take
good.
somebody out, and it's like He's like, get them, boys. So I give
Rattle
this a
'em,
9.
boys.
Yeah, rattle them, boys. It's chitons for you.
Hell
That's
yeah.
all my Dark Elder are going to talk now. Yeah, it's over for you, see?
They all talk like mobsters. Incredible.
We're going to get power from pain, Slim.
Lore? This is going to be a 9. For all the reasons. Oh my god. Well, now I feel bad that I gave it a 9. I guess, like, I don't know. It's hard to, like, put into words why I don't think it's quite a perfect 10. It's, like, very close. This is, like, I guess the fact that it is only Cabals is probably the only reason that I think it's not a full 10 out of 10. I think if Realspace Raiders had... Honestly, Realspace Raiders having a rule like this feels more in the spirit of what that detachment claims to be.
And, like, what's the name of that? Double Cross. Seems like something that would be at home in Realspace Raiders.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
Know, they're like, you're not part of my gang, really, so I'm going to just pull you in front of the shots.
Yeah. And it, like, that stratagem, and I think there's a couple more, like, don't only target your Cabals and Blades for Hire. Some of them just target Drukhari units, so that's very nice.
Yeah. The Double Cross, I think, can be really powerful because like Incubi are, like, a hard-hitting unit, and they've got a decent armor save, but they've always kind of been a little fragile for what they are. But if you put them next to, like, a unit of Racks, and you start dumping the hits on the Racks, who can regenerate.
Yep.
Not bad. Pretty wild.
Not bad.
Pretty good.
All that to say, this detachment should have been Realspace Raiders. Anyway, approachability. Kind of waffled back and forth a little bit on this. I think I settled on a 7. Just because it is, like, as flexible as it is. It doesn't just pigeonhole you into taking nothing but Cabals. And even if it did, you kind of want to take a lot of that anyway, I think. So it's not like changing your plans too much anyway as a new player. So, although the new combat patrol doesn't have any of that in it, so that makes it a little bit harder, but, you know.
Yeah, I give it an 8. I honestly don't remember why. But,
Ryan's dying?
I think part of why I gave it an 8 was, like, I forgot that they were redoing the combat patrol. And I was thinking about the old combat patrol, which was like a Raider, a Ravager, 10 Kabalites, an Archon, and some Incubi, or something like that.
The old combat patrol is fucking goated.
Yeah, it was so good. Which is like perfect for this. But so, I mean, I don't know. Leave it an 8. I don't know. I like this attachment.
I had no interest in Drukhari before the codex, but the customizability of the data sheets and how they mix with leaders got me. It's like the D&D Warlock of 40k. You know?
Hell yeah.
That's true. Yeah. I definitely agree with them being kind of the Warlocks of 40k. I like that a lot.
It's really reawakened my Deldar hype.
Yeah.
Like, I was playing before we started this channel. I was playing a lot of Dark Eldar.
It's true.
And then I kind of like switched to Chaos. As
far as meta, I think this is quite strong. I give this one 8. I think where it's really lacking is kind of defensive abilities. You don't have a ton of defensive capabilities here. Your one, I think, defensive stratagem is the one that hurts another unit. So
double cross.
Yeah. It hurts another unit. So one would argue it's the best defensive stratagem, but it does still take wounds away from you just from a different unit. So it's not ideal. So I think, like, lack of not killing your unit's defensive abilities knocks this one down a couple points, but I think this is going to be very useful. Very good detachment.
So I swear we didn't plan this, but I gave this a 7 on meta.
What do you... Oh, there's like a pattern. Oh, look at
Yeah,
that.
there's a pattern. We flip flops.
Amazing.
Yeah, like I think it's fun. It has the potential, like with the contract, like you can re-up your contract, with a stratagem.
Yeah.
But there's the potential of like you select a unit for the contract, and then your enemy just like sacrifices it, and then your army rules like off.
Well,
for
then
a second.
you gain 3 pain tokens, and then you use that stratagem, and you got another one.
Yeah, like there could be situations where you're like,
I think this is going to be harder to play around than people probably think it is, and especially because you get to pick the unit. You'd be like,
yeah,
you pick like a big tough tank, and you're like, I'm not going to be able to kill that until later, so I'm just going to sit on this lethal hits ability for a while. So
I definitely think the move is to like if your opponent's army has like a bunch of vehicles, you pick the vehicles that's going to be the least in your sights at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, so you have like the lethal hits to like kill the other vehicles.
It's going to be a little bit of a balancing act, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's
would
cool.
you believe that
it also
we both gave this an 8.5?
Yeah. The leech bite plate is also really cool.
That is
every command phase being able to fully heal your Archon.
Yeah. I think the issue that I had with that one is like if your Archon's getting hurt, it's probably just going to be dead, so you're not going to get to use that very often.
It gives you a little bit of a... Well, that's true. The Shadow... for him to be hurt, the Shadow Field would have to go down. Yeah.
It's like, that's good if it's like a 10-point enhancement or like 15-point enhancement and you just have points left over to slap it on there, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, if they have some sort of way to, like, dump mortal wounds on them with precision, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Same way you get around
there's situations where it
when
can be
you're
handy.
fighting gas, yeah.
Mm.
All right, cool. Yeah, we both like this detachment a lot. Moving on to, some would argue, the sexiest detachment, the Spectacle of Spite. This is your Witches detachment. Combat Patrol, god damn it. Combat Drugs are back, a Drukhari staple.
Hell yeah.
You can either pick one, or you can roll to get 2. You get +1 attack, +2 move, +1 weapon skill, +1 toughness, +1 strength, or +1 leadership and ballistic skill. They're all very good. I don't think there's any that you would... Maybe, like, ballistic skill is probably, like, a little bit of a nothing burger one.
I mean, it'd be good on the bikes. Because, like,
yeah,
the Reavers...
The Reavers, yeah.
Usually, you don't really want to get them in the melee. You want them to, like, zip around and heat lance people.
I feel like Reavers don't have enough staying power for this to really matter. And Reavers you're mostly going to be using as, like, button-pushing units for the most part, I think.
Yeah. It's either, like, button-pushing or, like, they've got some heavy tank in the backfield you need to pop. And so you send them on sort of a suicide run. And if you're doing that, you want them to hit. So the extra ballistic skill would be nice.
Yeah.
But for, like, regular witches...
Literally any of the other ones are like significantly better. So like I think 5 out of 6 of these are like very good. I think +2 move, +1 weapon skill, +1 attacks, those are all like really fucking good. +1 strength even, because I think that's where witches are a little bit anemic, and that their highest strength is strength 4. So I think you're going to run into issues with that. So the +1 strength really pushes them past like a really good breakpoint, where they're going to be wounding MEQs on 3s. So I think that one is also very good.
At least they paired up the... oh yeah, you got to dip in the bucket, of the drug bucket. At least they paired up the ballistic skill with +1 leadership also. Kind of
like, so it's not like nothing for your normal witches. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always pick a stratagem and enhancement, obviously. 2 CP here. A challenge met at the end of your opponent's movement phase. You can have a witch unit just charge an enemy unit within 9 inches. It is 2 CP. It's a little pricey, but that's very good if you can do it in the right spot. Being able to charge out of phase is one of the strongest abilities in the game. So if you can have your opponent get too close to you and with a unit that they really don't want to have locked up in melee, they don't really have a choice. Unlucky.
Yeah, so. And like all the witch units are pretty fast because like you can advance and charge with regular witches.
Mm-hmm.
You lose your splinter pistol shots.
Oh no!
You're honestly probably going to be advancing most of the time with witches. Yeah. Hellions are fast, Reavers are fast, so like you're gonna have a lot of board presence, and so it's very likely that you're going to be able to like enemies are going to be moving into that range to try to get to objectives and stuff. So yeah,
on the enhancement,
I really like that stratagem too.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. On the enhancement front, Chrono Shard once per game fights first. I think that's going to combo really well with a challenge met. Because when you use that stratagem, you obviously don't get the charge bonus, so you don't get the fights first. And this gives it to you. So being able to like pop that off once per game is going to be really, really good.
It will be kind of a finesse thing getting that specific unit being the one that can challenge met.
Yeah. I mean, it's fights first is just like generally useful. Like if you get charged, it's still useful. It's like a very good defensive kind of ability. So it's not only useful for that, but it's like if you can get that combo to pop off, it will be really good.
So I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily a great enhancement for rules wise, but flavor wise, I do like the pharmac effects because it lets you just take more drugs.
It does let you just take more drugs. Yeah, I do like that one.
Yeah. So just drugs all the way, baby.
So
the other one, Periaft. Is that how you say that? Of Torments is also good.
I don't know how to say it.
I think it's Periaft.
I was looking at that for a while, trying to figure out how to say it, and I had no idea. So your guess is as good as mine.
That thing cannot overwatch Bear's unit. That's really good. Just because if they've got like a flamer unit, or something.
Yeah.
Run a raider up, jump them out, advance and charge them. Turn that off. It'd be really good.
Yeah, quite good. Yeah, one of the best one of the best enhancements in GSC is one that turns off Overwatch. So definitely.
Yeah,
agree.
Like back at the start of 10th, I think I bought like a bunch of that guy's Dark Eldar collection for like really cheap, but it was like mostly witches, and I was like, witches aren't really exciting right now. And now I'm glad I've got them all because I'm just run them in this.
Yeah, there you go.
Be spicy.
So moving on to the scale here, I, despite what you might think, not a 10. I give it a 7. I think it's pretty good. I've seen all this before, so it is what it is. Combat drugs, obviously, Drukhari staple. I get it. I just don't think it's, maybe the novelty has worn off on me a little bit. And I don't love witches. They might be like my least favorite part of Drukhari. So that's just a little bit of my personal bias shining through there, which is what sex appeal is all about. So that's a 7. Is it a 10, Ryan?
Disappointing. I gave it a 10.
Yeah, I thought so.
Because if you know anything about me, you know I love witches.
Usually
that's more of the like traditional witch,
like witch
thing,
wives.
Yeah. I gave it a 10 because for another reason, I also love drugs. In game. I just love that. I love combat drug mechanics. It's just fun, like playing the drug lottery. I don't know.
I love playing the drug lottery.
I love playing the drug lottery. What am I gonna get today?
Put that on my gravestone.
It's like it's one of those mechanics that's like it's not as goofy as some of the other mechanics GW's had in the past, but it kind of harkens back to the goofier age of GW, where it's like random shit's gonna happen, you know.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Okay.
Elliot says Ryan loves drugs.
Yeah.
In Minecraft. So yeah, I give it a big fat 10. Disappointed that Jordan didn't. You know.
Yeah. Whatever. Lore, give it a 9. Very good. This is, like you were saying, harkens back to, classic Drukhari stuff, and it all plays very well with the witches lore. So got no real complaints, but it is still a very like hard focused on one thing kind of detachment. So yeah, 9. Is it a 10, Ryan?
Put a 10 up there, because in lore, when you've got witches, they're always fucking shooting up combat drugs. That's like their thing. And when they took them away, when they took our fucking drugs away, it was a crime. And now we've got them back, baby. I just wish you could use drugs in other detachments, but if I've got to take this detachment to do drugs, and by God, I will. So there you have it.
Yeah. I kind of just assumed everyone in Comrade did some kind of like combat drugs, but
I mean, yeah, in reality, every Drukhari is like probably got some level of combat drug pumping through them, but the witches are like, they're the ones that are going.
they're on that
sicko
good
mode.
good.
They got that good.
All right.
They have a show to do, you know.
They do have a show to do. Approachability, I give this one a 4. I don't think it's very approachable. You look like you have opinions. I think witches, from a hobby perspective, are like maybe one of the hardest parts of the Drukhari army, and from a rules perspective, this is going to require a level of finesse that new players aren't really going to be able to achieve, because the data sheets are very fragile. So, 4.
You give it an 8.
If you say so.
I give it an 8 because when I think of approachability, I think of like the ease of a new player playing it. And like you have this is one of the focused lists, so you're not gonna have as much soup as the other list. Realspace in particular. It's also inherently going to be an aggressive list. Like you want to get them in melee, you want to get them up there, you want to be fighting. There's obviously some like finesse things if you're trying to like pop off challenge met and things like that. But I don't know. Lately, there's been a lot of battles I've watched with like advance and charge and like aggressive melee, getting in really fast, and that really kind of like wins the game early for somebody. Maybe they don't have the lasting power to do that. I don't know.
That's where I think the problem lies.
Yeah,
and that's why I give it a 4.
It's very easy
in meta.
Yeah, I gave it a 6 in meta.
Yeah, I just think that witches are fragile. I think they're not killy enough, and I don't think that this detachment helps push them over the edge of making them like a game-winning unit. It's like some decent buffs, but nothing incredibly strong. So I think this is going to struggle a lot. It's just going to get shot off the board. It's going to struggle really hard into, again, it's going to struggle really hard into any army that is like vehicle heavy, which is a lot of the current meta. So, not great, but not terrible.
This could also be one of the detachments that has some trouble with pain economy, because like the covens, they have like units that will refund pain tokens and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Realspace Raid, you start out pain rich. Realspace
Pain
Raid's like the
rich.
1% detachment of the Drukhari.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, they don't really have anything, as far as I remember, that kind of like outside of this core pain rules that like generates pain, because like the Talos generates extra pain. Yeah, so
Yeah. I mean, like, I think you're probably gonna see like a Talos in most lists, right? Just because having that pain generation is gonna be really nice.
yeah,
Oh yeah. 7.3 is
they're
pretty
also
respectable.
just cool, beefy units. They're one of the tougher units in the Drukhari army. Field of Pain and like a 3-up save, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Heavy troops is the only one with an
Mectoplasm.
anti-infantry weapon. Everything else is strength 3
Yeah.
before drugs. Yeah. Well, are the gladiator weapons strength 3 still?
Gladiator weapons are strength 4, but you
Okay.
can only take like 3 of them, I think.
Um,
I really feel like the witches
yeah.
should be able to like
Gladiatorial
somehow
weapons
get.
are strength 4, so that's gonna like push those
Yeah.
over a little bit of a breakpoint, but still nothing like wildly useful.
Yeah, you can only have 3 gladiatorial weapons
Yeah.
in a squad. So
So
lore wise, I really feel like the witches should have like lethal hits somehow. It should probably be trapped behind a pain token, or maybe like only on the charge or something, because like their whole thing is like they're very skillful fighters. They're like stabbing between armor and stuff. And there's nothing that like represents that in their data sheet, unfortunately. Their data sheet is better than it used to be, but it just like they don't. It just doesn't,
yeah.
doesn't feel right.
Well, we've got one more detachment here. Skysplinter Assault. Now, this was one that they've released before, right?
Yeah, this is pretty much unchanged.
Um,
This is the Grotmus detachment. Or no. Reaper's
no,
Wager
this
was Grotmus.
was
This
this
was
was
the
they
this
just
was the
released
we're
this one.
sorry we made Realspace Raider 1.0 bad detachment.
Yeah. This is their apology to our detachment.
Yeah.
So this is after you disembark from a transport. First of all, I want to say that I'm already pre-mad at this detachment because it breaks the alliteration of the rest of the codex. You had Realspace Raiders, Covenite Coterie, Kabalite Cartel, Spectacle of Spite, and then Skysplinter Assault. They broke the alliteration. Mad immediately.
Skysplinter Assault.
Skysplinter
Got
Assault.
gloss.
Just gotta
Skysplinter
skip the
Assault.
A. Skip the A. Get drunk.
Real
That's how you keep the
slur in there, you're a
alliteration.
little drunk. This is after you've reached into the drug bucket and you're coming down from that high. You're like, this guy was all.
So
Anyway, sorry.
yeah, I'm a little bit pre-salty at this detachment already.
Put all the scores at 1.
But after you disembark, you get ignore cover and lance. All my scores are not 1. Which is pretty good. That seems to be like pretty standard transport detachment stuff. So nothing unexpected here. 1 CP Vicious Blades after a transport fights. Roll for each embarked model for each 5-up or a 4-up on racks. Deal 1 mortal wound. I just think that stratagem is objectively fucking funny. You just ram a boat into somebody and then the dudes inside start slapping and just deal mortal wounds.
Have you looked at the Raider data sheet?
Yes, but I forgore.
If you put the Raider in one of its forms, the rack form, every rack in the Raider adds 1 to its melee attack profile.
Yeah.
So
I do
10
like
racks.
how what is it, like modular the Raider is?
Yeah. Like I understand if some people are like looking at the Raider sheet and they're like, what the fuck? it is surprising to me that it has so much text on it, but I love that. I love all the text on these cards.
I think it's great.
All the like little fiddly rules. But I'm
And
like
you
a
don't-
crunchy, fiddly,
Like your Raider,
grognard guy.
when you're running it, you're not looking at all of those rules. You only care about one of them at any given time.
Yeah. And like you're not likely to be changing it a whole lot because probably the unit that's in it's going to be in there, for a while.
Yeah.
But like, I definitely at some point want to put 10 racks in a Raider in Skysplinter Assault, a charge an enemy unit, tank shock it, attack it with, was it D3 plus 13 attacks at that point?
Something like that, yeah.
And then do Vicious Blades, which is essentially like another tank shock.
It's like a mini
that
tank
could be-
shock, yeah.
Yeah. It could
Well,
be
actually,
pretty
it might
fucking
not
wild.
even. It's not even a mini tank shock. It is just like a normal tank shock, basically.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think they have.
That's funny. It's basically just double tank shock.
It might be better than a tank shock with a Raider, honestly. What's the Raider's
I
toughness?
mean, it still caps at 6 mortal wounds. Raider's toughness 8.
Yeah, but you still roll.
Yeah.
It's better than a tank shock.
Because you. Oh yeah, I guess because
yeah.
you can get 10, right?
Yeah, you can get 10.
Huh. Yeah. You tank shock and then you fight and then you do that. You could kill a land raider with this thing. In melee.
It could be
with a
pretty
bow.
fucking wild.
That's objectively hilarious.
I just like the idea of all the racks, like, just like, bah! Beating from outside.
Yeah.
It's almost fun enough to, like, convert a Raider with, like, the racks and it, just, like, smashing.
Yeah.
But,
Enhancement. None of them really stood out to me too much. I like Phantasmal Smoke. I think that's just good utility. Sticking that on a unit and giving them stealth while they're stealth and cover while they're within 6 inches of a transport. That's always nice, just making your guys a little bit harder to kill. So yeah, pretty good. Any standout strats or enhancements for you?
I mean, Pounce on the Prey is good. Basically gives a Raider assault ramps.
I love pouncing on my boy's prey.
She's pounced on my prey until I sky splintered. I don't know. Night Shield. I like Night Shield just because, like, when you have like a Ravager or like a Void Raven, they're gonna try to fucking blow it up, and so getting a 4+.
This gives a vehicle a 4-up invuln, yeah.
Yeah, gives you like a little bit of survivability.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Vicious Blades.
Yeah.
Pounce on the Prey plus Nightmare Shroud is good. Again, you're turning off Overwatch. I love turning off Overwatch. I know a lot of people don't use Overwatch, but I've used it to great effect before, and so I have a reasonable fear of Overwatch. Also, they could have like a Flamer unit. Well, what's the Space Marine Flamer unit?
The Infernus Marines.
Infernus Marines, yeah. Like, flamethrowers against Drukhari, they're not the toughest things out there, so like flamethrowers can hurt them pretty bad.
Yeah.
So turning off Overwatch is pretty valuable.
Yeah. Cool. For sex appeal, I hit this one with a big fat 8. I'm a sucker for a good transport detachment, as you all know. And I love the Drukhari boats. I love the Raiders. They're some of my favorite models in the range. So that's gonna be an 8 from me, dog.
I gave this big fat 9.
Okay, respectable.
Yeah, I've frequently in the past when I've fought with Dark Elder called it going on a boat trip, and I like to imagine my Kabalites screaming boat trip as they ride out of the webway.
Boat trip.
So yeah, this is the boat trip brigade. See, there's your alliteration.
Yeah.
Is boat trip one word? It is now.
I don't think so, but I guess it is now.
It's also like, yeah, I don't know. It's just a fun. I've played this detachment a few times, and like, essentially, especially if you take Venoms, because Venoms have a baked in. I think they still have it. A baked in like re-embark after the shooting phase. You've got like Kabalite's like popping out and going, and then popping back in.
Yeah.
All over the place, and it's just fun.
All over the
you
place.
Feel like it.
You're gonna have.
You feel like
you're
a
gonna
cheeky,
have
sneaky.
the Venoms, Kabalites popping out. You're gonna have your Scourges giving the AP bonus. You're gonna ignore cover because you popped out of a transport. You got all sorts of cool tricks going on here.
You definitely want a lot of Venoms in Skysplinter. They're like the.
Yeah. I have
you
one.
need the jet skis with your boats. You have a Venom?
Yeah. I don't even play Drukhari.
Why do you have it?
Because I like them.
They're cool models. Yeah.
Lore? Give this one a 9. When I imagine a Drukhari raiding party, this detachment is exactly how I imagine it. When I was reading the beginning of the Big Daka, this is what I imagined when they're talking about the Drukhari just like fucking pouring out of the webway and shooting motherfuckers on their boats and speeders. Primo shit. Ryan?
Big fat 10.
Nice.
Boat trip!
Boat trip!
I think in like some of the earliest codexes, there's like a quote of like, they come in their boats and their crafts. I don't think they call them boats.
With
but
their
in my
hose.
head, that's what. Yeah, with their hose.
As Drubael Vecht had boats and hose.
He did. There's rumors he's coming back. We'll see if he comes back with hose.
Probably not. It's 2025. No hose allowed.
You have to convert your own hose. The real Dark Eldar players will convert hose to put on the boat. I also have a source to get the real original metal hose if you need them.
Anyway, moving on. Approachability. It's a 6. I think it suffers from the transport detachments requiring a lot of finesse. Drukhari transports are probably going to be some of the hardest to build and paint in the game, for new players especially, and they will exact a blood toll while you're trying to build them. So,
oh yes, I mean, if
most
you don't
of the
bleed
models
on
in
your
this
Dark
range.
Eldar,
So.
if you haven't bled on your Dark Eldar, you haven't actually built them.
True.
I think the inside of my homunculus is just smeared with my own blood, but he was a conversion, so like I was doing a lot of like weird cuts, and I sliced myself open and bled inside of him, and then he talked to me a little bit, and then I finished him. Anyway, I gave this a 6 as well.
Okay. Meta. I kind of went a little bit back and forth on this one. I kind of ended up on a 6. The only person that's going to be able to run this detachment properly is Scary.
I gave it a 9 because from what I've heard, this detachment's kind of popping off for Dark Eldar.
Maybe, yeah. I do worry about it getting dumpstered by like knights and stuff, but the mobility and stuff. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 7. Well, no, I have to put it back to a 6 because we have 6 and 9 and 6 and 9. Yeah, I gotta keep it there. Sorry.
As far as I understand it, I could be wrong. I don't really like meta chase or like read a lot of meta stuff, but like I interact with communities, I hear things. From what I've heard, Skysplinter Assault is doing pretty well for itself. So,
yeah, I mean, let's see. I do think it's better than the Covenite Coterie. I don't think it's as good as the Kabalite Cartel. I'll give it a 9. I mean a 7. Not a 9. Jesus Christ. 7. I'll give it a 7. I think it's probably a little bit better than I'm giving it credit for. So, shall we take a look at our final standings here?
What about Reaper's Wager?
We already did that.
Did we? No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did. In the Grotmas stream. We already did that. We already did every Grotmas attempt. Kabalite Cartel. Look at that. 8.5s all the way across. That's very satisfying. 8.0 on Skysplinter Assault. 7.3 on Spectacle of Spite. 7.1 on Covenite Coterie. 6.1 on Realspace Raiders, and that's entirely my fault. Having 4 out of the 5 detachments be like 7.0 or better is real good in my opinion. That's a solid C+, right?
Hey, C's get degrees, as we said at Georgia Tech. In fact, I think we even sometimes said D's get degrees. But yeah, I'm excited for this codex. I'm not like the best person to tell you if something's meta. Like I said, I don't meta chase. Although sometimes
Yeah.
I do fall into meta, like 3 Vindicators, instead of out of liking a tank. But yeah, this has gotten me really excited. I am pretty close to having 2,000 points painted.
A lot
Dark
of people
Eldar.
are like real down on this codex, and
I think that's just...
I get being down a little bit about the Covenite Coterie and like just losing data sheets. But I think like the contents of the book itself are good.
Yeah, losing data sheets is going to start everybody off with like a bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah.
Also, if you're someone who's like wanting the game to be simpler, the army rule is not doing that for you.
Drukhari's not the army for you.
Yes, Drukhari's not the army for you if you want it simple.
Yeah.
It never has been. Like in 8th edition, when you had 3 army rules, it was when I was playing them the most. That was something. But I don't know. The flavor of this codex, I'm very much like a flavor person, a lore person, and I like narrative shit.
Mm-hmm.
The flavor's there in this for me. Some of the detachments more than others.
Primo.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm excited.
Still don't like Realspace Raiders that much, but the rest of them,
I mean,
the lore is great.
Yeah, Realspace Raiders is like it always was like I don't know. It's like you're not going to get the strongest flavors because it's like a mix, So
yeah, I just wish they would have tried. They didn't even try.
I definitely think that one stratagem, double cross, should have been in Realspace Raiders. I think that was a misstep putting it.
I mean, Kabalite Cartel should have just been Realspace Raiders, and Realspace Raiders should have been something else. Anyway, 7.4, quite good. I'm happy with this book. That'll do it for us here. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. We've been getting some chatter in chat, because that's what chat do. But overall, I think like once people have sat on the codex for a little bit and just like read it a couple of times, they're kind of warming up to it. I like it a lot. Yeah. Good stuff. Make sure you guys join us on Monday, where we're going to be playing the Space Marine Operations mode from White Dwarf. That'll be a good time. And then, obviously, we're going to have something in After Dark next week, because we have it every week. So make sure you guys hang out with us there. Like, sub, all that good YouTube stuff. Maybe consider joining as a channel member. Like all of these fine folks right down there. It helps support what we do here, and it helps keep Ryan off the streets and with a belly full of chicken. And thank you so much to One Speed Wonder and the Alu Cord for being our Slambo tier members. Insane. Love you guys. Have a good night.